Alright, so I went ahead and just gonna take off the boat cover today. I think the kind of plan is today is just to go through and I want to show you guys like a couple of my setups of my different rods and stuff like that. So I use all the Garcia rods and reels, so that's what I choose to use. So let me finish ripping the rest of this stuff off the boat, and then we'll get up on the boat and I'll show you guys that. So alright y'all, so let me show you a few of my reels that I like to kind of like have set up, just to kind of give y'all like a quick explanation. And then a lot of these, and the reason why I kind of go Garcia is because a lot of the rods and reels, they can kind of get a little pricey, but they're not too expensive. Sometimes you have some of these guys, they'll buy a rod for like $200 or something. I don't like to go that expensive. I feel like you can, I don't feel like it's really a lot about, like, the gear does help, but I don't feel like it makes a huge difference for me to spend $200 on a specific rod compared to spending like you know, $70 for a rod, or you know, $80 for a rod. Same thing with the reel, and the reels kind of vary depending on what kind of setup. So this is the reel I had in my past, the rod and reel I had in my past video. This is my frog rod setup. It's with a Garcia Revo SX, the Rocket. This reel is a 7/6 heavy fast action rod and reel combo. So the reel itself is a 9.0 gear ratio. I choose to rock that because I just want to be able to like pull whatever frogs, or not frogs, but bass and stuff out of you know, whatever. You got other cars and stuff right behind me, so you hear all that in the background. But just whatever cover, I don't want them getting trapped. So the moment I hook up on a bass with a frog, especially because a lot of the areas I'll fish with it, it's gonna be like matted areas. I don't really want them to like get me all hooked up. The line I choose to use on here, some people will run different braided line. I choose to use 50-pound braided on here. But that's that combo right here. So it's a pretty easy little combo. Some of them are kind of, some of them here are a lot cheaper. Other ones are like, this is a more expensive combo that I have set up. And then altogether, like, just to give you a price point, this probably cost me a little over 200 and like 30-ish bucks to kind of get all together. The reel itself was $150, and then the rod is about 180. And then of course you got your line you have to buy separate and stuff like that. So yeah, that's this combo. That's my frog rod. I'll lay each one down here so you can see it. This is another Garcia rod that I bought. This is the Jordan Lee combo one. I got this one at Bass Pro. It's a pretty cool little combo. It's a medium heavy. It's a 7-foot medium heavy rod, and you're gonna see a lot of my rods are. I kind of choose not to rock medium. I think I got one medium rod in here, but everything else is gonna be pretty much medium heavy. So it's a medium heavy rod. It runs with a, let's see what the gear ratio, it was this 6.4 to 1 gear ratio, and I like the left-handed reel just because it's easier for me to be able to pitch and flip real quick. So this is just my worm rod. It's a weighted worm, and it's kind of the rod that I kind of chose for that. So it works pretty well. I like the way it feels. I like the way I can pitch and flip the rod into cover and just kind of like check an area, especially if I'm fishing around a bunch of trees or anything, or any kind of brush. I just want to be able to get down in the brush and then feel around in there. So that's this rod right here. This rod, I want to say I got it for, I don't think it was like no more than 100 bucks. That's the rod and reel together. So it wasn't too expensive. Might have been closer to 120, but I can't quite remember. But a lot of these rods and reels you don't have to go out the way and spend a ton of money on. You can kind of get like some cheaper ones and stuff like that. So that's this rod right here. And then this one I got at Academy. I want to say this was $80 altogether. It's a Revo X, and it runs, where is it at? A 7.3 to 1 gear ratio. I like the little faster gear ratio on this rod for my little scatter wrap. This is the bluegill one that I choose to use on here. The line on this right here is a mono line. I didn't explain it on my last line, but this right here is fluorocarbon. I like the difference between mono and fluorocarbon. I'll kind of switch between those depending on what I'm fishing. If I'm fishing top water, I'll use mono. If I'm fishing something like this and I want something to get down in the water faster and down in the water column faster, I'll fish like fluorocarbon. So this right here is 15-pound fluorocarbon, and then this right here, I want to say it's 17-pound mono. I don't really care about the fish being able to see the line when it's on top like that because I'm moving it so fast anyway. So yeah. Then this, I don't have a lure attached to it. The last thing, if I can remember, or whatever I had on here, they kind of like snapped me off or whatever. But this is braided line, and what I normally fish in here would be like, it'd be sometimes I'll fish like a different jig or something like that. This is kind of a rod I just haven't set back up yet. But this is a Revo SX, another one, but it's not the Rocket. It's the 7.3 to 1 gear ratio on this one. So I run a medium heavy fast action rod on this one right here. It's a Garcia Vendetta. I think altogether for this combo, I think it cost me a little over 200 also. The reel is the more expensive part, but these Garcia Vendettas, you can kind of get them anywhere between like 70 bucks. Depends on where you find them at, 70, $80. You might even be able to pick them up for like 60 bucks or even cheaper than that depending on the different locations. But there is braided line on this too. This is, I want to say it's 40-pound braided on here. And I like to throw like different jigs and stuff on here, the smaller weighted jigs. I don't like to use bigger jigs on this one. And then just kind of like fill around and brush and stuff like that. So this is, I use a Black Max on this one, but this is my top water Rapala. I don't need nothing fancy. I didn't want a fast gear ratio on this. This one's 6.4 to 1. It's just a regular Black Max reel. You can kind of pick those up like any Walmart, something like that. They're not very expensive. You probably find them pretty cheap. No less than $40 or whatever. They'd probably be like, or no more than $40, probably like 30 bucks or something like that. You probably pick up one of these reels. But this is a Garcia Vendetta rod. It's a medium heavy rod. It's a 7-foot rod, and all these other rods I just showed you too were 7 foot also, minus the first rod I showed you, that was 7.6. It's a medium rod also, and then yeah, that's kind of this setup or whatever. The rod itself is probably more expensive than the reel. So these Black Max reels are really, really good for their price point. So for somebody that's just trying to like budget and get a nice rod, you can probably pick up these Black Max combos, and they're pretty cheap. I just chose to put the reel on a different rod on this one. So I like to use it because it's a smaller or a slower gear ratio, 6.4 to 1 for my top water Rapala. This is the Rapala that I mentioned in my last video that gives me like PTSD. That I don't really like trying to hold fish while all these treble hooks in them. Yeah, they got me pretty good right in my hand last time. So that's this rod right here, and there's, I want to say on this one it's mono line also, but I think it's a lighter mono line. I didn't think I put the 17-pound. I think I put it closer to like the 14-pound mono on here or something. And this right here is what I like to use. This is a Vengeance, Garcia Vengeance rod. It's a 7-foot medium heavy rod as well. I use the Silver Max on here, and it has a 6.4 to 1 gear ratio as well. I like this rod and reel combo, especially for like, so I love super flukes. They're probably one of my favorite kind of lures to fish, but sometimes I want to get a super fluke down deeper, and I don't really want it sitting up there in the water column kind of high. I just want a little bit of weight to kind of bring it down. So instead of like swapping to like fluorocarbon, I'll still keep mono on here. This right here is, I can think, I want to say it's 17-pound mono. No, I think it's lower because I did have it working as a super fluke, so I think it's 14-pound mono. But just to kind of keep like visibility from the bass and stuff while I'm working it down in the water column. So what I do is on these I kind of buy these little hooks here that have the weight, like this is a 3-ounce weight on the bottom down here. You can get the different size and stuff like that, and that kind of helps get it down in the water column, but it doesn't just sink like super fast. With the mono, it kind of helps a little bit keep it up, and then the super fluke itself doesn't sink quite as fast. But I can kind of work it, it'll dive down. It looks good in the water when I'm kind of like pulling it through the water, but that's just to kind of get it from being on like super flukes. If you fish them weightless, they kind of sit on the top of the water. That's to kind of just get it down a little further. So this is my one of my other favorite rods that I kind of like to rock. So this is the Garcia Vengeance rod and the Silver Max reel, and the reel itself has a 6.4 to 1 gear ratio. So, and then this right here is my spinnerbait rod. I chose this one because it has a 7.1 gear ratio on it. It's one that I think I picked up at, I want to say it was Academy. But yeah, this is it's a pretty decent rod or whatever combo. You can find a lot of these like pretty cheap at like Academy or Dick. Well, I wouldn't really say Dick's Sporting Goods, but you know, the different places like that. But yeah, I think I got this one for, shoot, I want to say it was probably close to $100 altogether. It might have been closer to like 80 bucks, give or take around there. But that's the whole combo, the rod and reel together. So this right here is the I don't even know how to say that right. The Garcia Roxina. Yeah, I can't even say it right. I'll show you there, guys, here, just so you can kind of see a little better. That's the rod and reel combo right there. But this one I played with a little bit. I set it up for a spinnerbait. I caught a few fish off of it. I like the rod, honestly. It's a 7-foot. This is a medium rod. This is one of my other only medium rods that I have. It's a 7-foot medium rod. And I wanted something with a little bit of flex, because when you're fishing like a spinnerbait and you're casting it out there, I didn't want something that was going to be like, you're constantly reeling, you're constantly pulling the line in. I wanted something where if the fish grabbed it, it can bow for a minute and then kind of like, yeah, I'll be able to set the hook a little bit easier. I don't really have to like yank to set the hook, but I can kind of just pull into it and set the hook. So this one's kind of cool. I fished it a few times. It's kind of cool. I like to put a little like crawl on the end, or sometimes like a little, just some kind of little bit of meat on the end of these little spinner baits. Just the, you can kind of, probably can't really see it that well here. But yeah, just to give it a little more meat, so when the fish grab a hold of it, they're not just grabbing a hold of a straight hook, they're grabbing a hold of a little bit of meat, and then they'll probably feel the hook in a second when I set the hook. So this is a cool little combo I kind of picked up and played around with. I've never seen it before, so that was kind of the real reason why I decided to grab it. It was just kind of unique to me. So, and then this one right here is my what I like to fish the jig with. So if I fish, depending on if I'm fishing like a 1/4 ounce jig, I might fish the other rod. If I'm fishing like a 1/2 ounce jig, or just depending on the different types of jigs I have, like whether it's a football head or like, you know, just the different jigs or whatever. This is a little heavier jigs. I want to say this is almost a 3/4 ounce jig, but yeah, this is a 50-pound braided line on here as well. And it's just easier. I like the left-handed reel for the jigs. I know my other one was a right-handed reel, and I might change that up later, but it's just easier to pitch and flip into an area and then fill around in there and stuff. But yeah, this rod's the Garcia, what is it, Max Ultra? Yeah, Garcia Max Ultra rod. And then the reel itself is, yeah, the same thing. Garcia Max Ultra for the reel. So it's a whole combo together. It has a 7.1 gear ratio on it, and these handles are like the foam handles. So I don't know if I necessarily like the foam handles. Some people do. I kind of find my hands slipping off of them. I kind of rather just have like the plasticky handles, they feel better to me. But yeah, this is a pretty good rod and reel setup. So I don't know, it just felt the best when I was fishing a jig on it compared to any other lure I was kind of like testing out for it. So it's a medium heavy 7-foot rod. And then this right here is probably the basic rod that everyone can probably pick up for like $60, $70. I got this one at $60 at Walmart. And this is when I was really starting to get into a little bit into bass fishing and stuff like that a little more. But the rod itself is just a regular Garcia Max Combo, and honestly it's pretty sweet, just for the price point. It's a 6.6 medium rod. I probably caught the most fish on this rod right here. My wife's pulling up into the driveway right now. But I probably caught the most fish on this one rod and reel combo itself. So I don't know, it's probably my favorite rod out of all of them. I fish a super fluke on it because it just feels really good to fish a super fluke on this kind of rod. I will say that probably having a medium heavy rod would probably be a little better for the super fluke, just to be able to set the hook a little better. But overall, this rod has probably caught me the most amount of fish. The line I'll probably have to switch out at some point. It's still the same line that I've had for years, and it's kind of like the line itself kind of has gone down. So it's just a 12-pound mono line. Let's see, yeah, it's just a 12-pound mono line. The reel, I think I already mentioned that, 6.4 to 1, yeah. So honestly, for people that are getting into fishing, it feels good to cast. It feels like, it doesn't feel like a cheap rod for the price. Rod and reel combo. So these little Black Max reels, I honestly really do like them. That's probably what got me into Garcia to begin with, was this reel, this rod. It just felt like I didn't get something that was cheap to kind of mess with. So this is just my little swim bait rod. Same thing, I put a, I think this is a, what is this? This isn't a little 3-ounce weight on here. I think it's more closer to like a, I don't know, maybe a 2, I'd have to see what the pack says. But this is just a Vengeance rod. It's a 7-foot medium heavy rod. Same rod that I had before on the other ones. But I got this little whole combo here. I picked it up at Academy for $40. The whole rod and reel combo. Academy had this up there sitting there for $40, so I couldn't pass up on it. Just trying something out that felt kind of, you know, maybe worth the price point. So this is the reel is a Vengeance reel also. So let's see if I can find the gear ratio on this reel. I think it said it on the pack. It's 6.5 to 1. That's the gear ratio. There is actually mono on this one as well. Actually, I think I'm gonna put fluorocarbon on this one. Yeah, for the swim bait rod, because I'm constantly reeling it in. I'm not letting it really sink. And then, yeah, it's just a smaller weight on here. So yeah, this is, I want to say it's 15-pound fluorocarbon. And then, yeah. But this right here is probably my cheapest rod and reel combo, and it actually feels pretty good to fish with, just for like a little swim bait rod. So you can pick this up probably at Academy, or you can find them online. Let's see. This one I like too. This one is a Garcia Max Pro, and it has a, where's the gear ratio? 7.1 gear ratio on it. So the rod and reel is the same combo. I bought them both together. The rod is a 7-foot medium heavy rod, and then yeah, I fish a topwater what are these called? Drew a blank. Pretty sure most everybody kind of pick them up now. But yeah, the top, it's like a top water kind of like Rapala. What are they called? Yeah, I drew a blank. But anyways, that's what I kind of use. It works pretty well. It casts out there pretty far, and then I like the reel speed on it when I'm just kind of like ripping it across the top of the water. So this water rod feels good. This one, I wanted to say I got it at Academy as well. It might have been Bass Pro, honestly, where I picked this one up at. I don't think it costs no more than like maybe $120 or $110 or something like that. So I don't think it was too expensive. So most of my rods that I do got are around, if they're around $100-ish each. There's only like a couple rods that I probably got the rod and reel combos together that are probably over $200. This one is it's my only non-Ava Garcia rod and reel combo that I picked up. It's a Lewis reel with a speed stick for the rod itself. The rod is a 7-foot medium heavy fast action rod. The Lewis reel itself is, where's the gear ratio? 7.5 to 1, and I like to use this for like little top water, like poppers or anything like that. And it felt good too. I like the left-handed reel on this, so I'll use either side. It doesn't bother me to use left-handed or right-handed reels. So that one's a pretty cool combo. I don't think this was very expensive too. I want to say it's probably no more than $100 as well too. Probably less than that. Might have been like $80 or something. Then I got one rod left, and you can see this is my third Black Max reel on here, and these reels, I'm telling you, they just feel good for a lot of the different rods you kind of fish. This is another 6.6 medium heavy Black Max combo. It's like my old combo here that I have with my Super Fluke on it. So I got two of these guys right here, and they both feel good. One I fish a weightless Super Fluke with, and it has same thing, 12-pound mono on there. The other one I fish, this one right here, 12-pound mono, and it has a weightless worm on here, and just the different worms that I decide I want to put on here. But I'll fish either one of those depending on the scenario. I'll probably fish the Super Fluke a lot more. But yeah, after I got the first one of those and kind of played around with it, I picked up a second one just because you really can't beat the price point on these Black Max combos for like, I think this one I picked up was $80, because now the prices on those kind of went up since I originally bought my first Black Max. But at the time I was able to get them for like $60 for a combo. But yeah, these little rods right here are probably the main reason why I kind of got into fishing with like a bait caster and stuff like that. So put this up. But yeah, those are my different rods, and I'll kind of like tailor my rods and reels to specifically to like a lure, like a type of lure that I want to fish. So if I'm fishing like a you know, a topwater Rapala, I might change out the line to something else. Or if I'm fishing like I was just saying, a weightless Super Fluke, I don't mind using mono on there because I want it to float more or something. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my little rod and reel combo. I probably won't buy many more rods and reels. I say that now, that I mean, maybe I will, but this kind of fish like worked with pretty much most of the different types of lures that I fish. So I don't really go too much out of my comfort zone. I probably will try other newer stuff eventually, but for now this kind of works for everything I'm trying to do. I'm not like a big all-in kind of like tournament fisherman. I'm just kind of like one of your budget fisherman kind of guys. I do what I can with this stuff that I have. The most expensive thing obviously I got is my boat here, which I really like, but everything else, it's not too out of everybody's price point if they want to get into fishing. I think it just starts with getting a rod and reel and then kind of like going from there. For the longest time I fished from the bank, so yeah, it's been kind of cool. But I'll put some links in the description. I'll look up some different rod and reel combos for you guys if you guys want to check them out. Just some of the ones that I like together and what feels good with me, and I'll even put in the description what I normally kind of fish it with and what feels good to me. And if you guys want to check them out and maybe get into some fishing, maybe get into trying to build your own little combos and tailor them around, there are tons of like YouTube videos out there that you can research on how to set up different combos and what other people like. And everything's kind of personal preference, right? There's no, I don't think there's 100% right or wrong way to fish a specific lure. I think you put the lure in the water, that's half your battle right there, right? So majority of the time, it probably does make those minor difference on having like a certain, 14-pound line compared to, 12-pound line on whatever, but I don't think those differences are really gonna make or break you if you're just out fishing every day, just trying to have fun with the sport. Maybe if you were a professional, trying to really get into like the nitty-gritties of things, then yeah, that would kind of matter. But for the most part, I think it just matters that you get out there and you kind of like put something together that you like. So, but yeah, I'll put, it is an affiliate link that I'll put in the description, but it'll be like just the different combos that I like to kind of fish with. So yeah, if you guys would, I really would appreciate it if you like and subscribe to this video. I'll probably put out some more kind of other content and stuff like that as we go. But yeah, this is just my video of kind of like my overall, what I like the different rods that I have, and then kind of like what I kind of like to fish. So yeah, just consider leaving a like and subscribe, and just look down in the description if you're kind of curious of where you can kind of snag up a couple of these rod and reel combos, and then I'll kind of just label it out on like, I fish a super flute with this combo, and I put this kind of fluorocarbon or mono, and I'll probably just put each one of those with the combo. Just something for you guys to kind of look. You don't have to obviously pick up any of this stuff from the link in the descriptions that I'm gonna put. You can kind of just go ahead and like probably pick up most of this stuff, like the line and stuff, from Walmart or any of your local stores nearby you. So yeah, I appreciate everybody watching, and if you would, leave that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.